this morning. Still much needed rain, though, so this is still a big benefit to us, but it is going to put a damper on pretty much all your plans throughout the day today, as we are not going to see this really die down until overnight tonight, especially across the upstate. So you can see as we zoom in, we've got some of that rain continuing steady around Union out to Lawrence and Greenwood, although you're about to get a little bit of a break here as we see some of this shift off to the east. More scattered in nature once you look up towards places like Piedmont into Greenville, out to Pickens, Walhalla, into Highlands and out towards Fingerville as well. In fact, Spartanburg right now getting a little bit of a break for the moment, but then it fills back in across our western mountains here. Chioa out towards Franklin, Bryson City, Cullowhee, Cashers out to Waynesville, with even some thunderstorms popping right here. A couple of lightning strikes here in the last 15 minutes as you look up into southern parts of Graham County. We've got some heavier rain and again a few lightning strikes here up into the Madison County area, up around Cane River, Flat Creek, down towards Asheville, into Grassy Creek, as well as Marion. Those rain chances are going to stay elevated throughout the day today. You'll notice that we really don't see those showers taper off until after about 7 o'clock. That's when we get more into that isolated category. So widespread, especially through the morning hours, a little more scattered into the afternoon, and then starts to finally die down as we head into the overnight hours. We'll talk more about the timeline of this, when it'll clear out for your area, and then the temperature changes behind this front coming up here in just a few minutes. Right now, though, we've got widespread rain across our area this morning, so definitely do not want to forget the rain gear, the umbrellas, the rain jackets, maybe even the rain boots, because we do have some ponding in a lot of areas here as that rain continues to come down this morning. As we take a look into the southern parts of the upstate, we're starting to clear here in Lawrence. You still got a few spotty showers in Greenwood, but you are going to get a gap here in just a few minutes. Union also getting a little bit of a break before that next batch of rain moves in. You've got some heavier pockets of rain up around Pickens into Walhalla, up to Highland and out to Fingerville, filling in here around Spartanburg, as well as downtown Greenville, but for the moment drier down towards Fountain Inn and into Piedmont, with those showers shifting down into your area here shortly. Widespread rain through the mountains, Bryson City, Cullowhee, down towards Franklin, Cashers, and into Waynesville, even moving out towards Brevard. Right now, I don't see any lightning strikes here in the last 15 minutes. Those have kind of come down there, but we did have some thunder and lightning just within the last half hour. Some pretty heavy rain as you look up into Madison County, especially if you're traveling along I-26 there, Cane River out towards Grassy Creek, Flat Creek into Asheville, as well as down towards Marion. You've got that rain all up and down that I-40 corridor. This is going to continue as we head throughout the morning hours, gradually clearing, very gradually clearing from the northwest down to the southeast. So look at some of this heavy rain across the upstate as we head towards 9 o'clock this morning, but starting to clear in some of those western mountains there. By the time we get to about 11 o'clock, we're still seeing some showers south of I-40 into the mountains, but starting to clear out into the northern parts of the mountains there. But widespread rain continues across the upstate through the lunch hour into the early afternoon. And then we finally start to break things up a little bit more once we get into the later part of the day. That's when we start to get a little more scattered in nature. For the mountains, it's going to be a little more isolated in nature. And then once we get to about 7 o'clock, that's when we finally start to see that last little push of rain pushing out of the area. After about 9 o'clock, anything we see would be isolated, clearing out by midnight. There is a small risk that we could see some severe weather, and it's mainly going to be across our southern areas, places like Union, Lawrence, out towards Greenwood, and maybe even into Abbeville County, with the possibility of some damaging straight line winds. As well as I can't completely rule an isolated tornado, although we're fairly stable thanks to that rain continuing across our area and, of course, the cloud cover as well. So I'm a little more focused on this rainfall totals, which very beneficial, but could lead to more ponding on the roadways and some minor isolated flooding issues, especially across the upstate, where we still have 1 to 2.5 inches possible through the day today. Not quite as much in the mountains, though, as we are looking at those rainfall totals about 1/4 of an inch to around 1/2 an inch. And keep in mind, we still very much need this as we continue with that drought status. So this is definitely good news. We're here on your Monday morning. We've just been talking to Chris Scott. He is keeping us up to date on everything happening with the Masters down there, and they are going ahead, weather permitting. So if you're headed down to Augusta National today, make sure you have the rain gear. It's going to be a soggy one out there on those practice rounds. 69 degrees at 9 o'clock down there in Augusta, 71 at noon, 68 as we look ahead towards 3 and 6 o'clock this evening. Plus, it's going to be a little breezy out there for those golfers. So all things to consider out there for those of you spectating, but also the golfers going to be dealing with some pretty nasty conditions. Same for us here at home. Very similar looking forecast there, as we do have rain throughout the day today. We'll talk more about the rain for us during the day today, and then the big temperature change ahead behind this rain coming up here in just a few minutes, guys. You can see those widespread showers really all across our area. We do have a small little gap here stretching through central parts of the upstate, but it's not going to last terribly long. So those of you who are getting a break, get out and take advantage of it now, because it's going to fill back in. Showers into the upstate, and this is going to be the story throughout the day here for your Monday. Really not a lot of clearing until we get into the overnight hours. Now, as we take a look at some of the spots on the radar, so we've got some light rain filling back in across southern parts of Lawrence County down towards Greenwood into Lake Secession. Cross Anchor, Union, up to Spartanburg, Anderson right now getting a little bit of a break, but you're going to fill back in eventually. Don't you worry about that. We've got Coldwater, Elberton, down towards Calhoun Falls and Hartwell getting some spotty showers with heavier rain right now moving into Toccoa and just north of Walhalla as you travel up towards Rocky Bottom Ford up there. And then north of Pickens, you've got some heavier rain as well as you travel into the northern parts of the Pickens County and Greenville County, up around Table Rock State Park, up around Jones Gap as well. Dry for the moment in Greenville if you're traveling on I-85 out towards Spartanburg and Gaffney, but we've got those showers as you look up towards the South Carolina, North Carolina border, and then pretty widespread rain through most of Macon, Jackson counties, out towards Haywood, into Transylvania counties as well, getting a little bit of a break in Chio and Bryson City. Some thunder and lightning up around Cataloochee, Jonathan, and Fines Creek right now, and then widespread rain as you look further to the east, Madison, Yancey, Mitchell counties down to McDowell, and all through Buncombe County, getting those heavier showers as well. The lightning and thunder in the northern parts of Yancey and Mitchell County has come down in the last 15 minutes. We are going to continue to see this widespread rain throughout the morning. Look at how heavy some of this is here at 9 o'clock in the morning, right along that I-85 corridor, with scattered showers becoming more the norm for the mountains, with the widespread rain, though, continuing across the upstate. So the mountains are going to get a little more of a break, but still not completely clearing out of those rain showers until we get into this evening, whereas the upstate, it's after about 3-4 o'clock that you finally start to become a little more scattered in nature, but those rain chances stay elevated all the way through about 9-10 o'clock this evening before it finally clears out as we head into those overnight hours. We can't completely rule out an isolated damaging straight line wind that could take down power lines, trees, even some minor structure damage possible, and an isolated tornado not completely off the table, but with a lot of cloud cover and the rain this morning, it's definitely stabilizing the atmosphere a little bit more, so that risk is on the lower side. Now, one of the things that this front is going to do, though, is it is going to shift our temperatures as we head into the next couple of days. Today, topping out upper 60s to around 70 across the upstate and mid 60s into the mountains. Then tonight, we drop down into the mid 40s across the upstate, upper 30s to around 40 into the mountains there. So a much cooler start to the day, with highs tomorrow only getting into the mid 60s into the upstate, even cooler in the mountains with those mid 50s for afternoon highs. And then we're looking ahead to the possibility of a frost on Wednesday morning across the upstate as those temperatures bottom out in the upper 30s to around 40, and then a freeze into the mountains. So thinking ahead to tomorrow, it is going to be a dry day out there with a lot of sunshine, but you may need to be prepping you need all the rain gear handy as you head out the door this morning. Widespread through the mountains. We've got a little more of a gap into the upstate for the moment, but then you look down to the southern parts of the upstate and we're still seeing quite a bit of rain as well. It's lighter rain the further south you go, places like Greenwood down to Kirksey, Lake Secession, up to Anderson, getting very light rain. Lawrence, Union, Cross Anchor, Spartanburg on the drier side for the moment. Elberton's starting to dry out a little bit, as well as up towards Hartwell briefly, because you've got more rain on the way. And then you pick up in intensity once you get up towards places like Toccoa. Some heavy showers working their way from Walhalla. And these are coming up from the northwest, dropping down to the southeast. So we're filling in across Clemson, Pickens out towards Easley, Highlands out towards Travelers Rest as well. That's all going to drop down into the Greenville area here over about the next half hour to hour. These are moving pretty slow, I will say that here this morning. As we take a look in the mountains, you're getting a little bit of a breakout towards Franklin and Chioa, Bryson City, some spotty sprinkles, Cullowhee out to Cashers and into Waynesville, seeing those widespread showers. We did have some lightning strikes up here recently within the last about half hour, but looks like those have come down there. Pretty heavy rain as you look into all of Madison, Yancey, Mitchell, McDowell, and even Buncombe County as well. So watch out for all of that if you're traveling through the mountains there. What do you want to wear today? Definitely need that rain gear out there. You'll need the umbrellas. You'll probably want a rain jacket and maybe even the rain boots today, because we have on top of what we got yesterday, we're getting more rain on the way. Another 2 inches possible for parts of the upstate here, and those showers are going to continue well into the afternoon. We'll talk more about the timeline of this and how much rain is on the way coming up here in just a few minutes. But right now, we want to make sure it's feeling about as great as all of us, right? We've got that rain falling steadily from the sky in a lot of places out there right now, and we are watching some stronger thunderstorms working their way into parts of northeast Georgia, I should say, just down to our south, just outside of our area here. We actually have a severe thunderstorm warning down around Athens, stretching down towards that I-20 corridor, and this system is going to the east here, so it's possible that this may clip parts of Elbert County as well as Greenwood County, with that potential that this could produce some severe weather. I'd also watch on to this one that is moving right now into Stevens County, or Franklin County, excuse me, where we've got some good lightning with this one as it continues to push out to the east. We'll have to keep a close eye on some of these thunderstorms off to our west. That rain is filling in though back across our northeast Georgia county. Some heavier rain and some lightning now starting to pop up around Walhalla into Clemson, Pickens, Easley. Steady rain moving into Greenville as well. It's more spotty once you get down towards Fountain Inn and into Cross Anchor if you're traveling on 385, and then widespread rain across Rutherford, Polk into Henderson, Buncombe, as well as McDowell and Yancey and Mitchell counties. Getting a little bit of a break here back across the western mountains, but you can still get that rain falling across our area. Ponding on the roadway is certainly a big possibility for you as you head out the door this morning, which is why we need to check in with our first alert traffic expert, Chris Scott. Ladies, a lot going on here behind me, and you can see we've got some widespread rain across the area, some heavy thunderstorms as well. Keeping also a very close eye on some of these severe thunderstorms here through central parts of Georgia, around the Madison area down towards Eatonton. The one that was a little bit closer to the Athens area has now been dropped here, but this line of storms is capable of producing some severe thunderstorms, so we're going to keep a very close eye on that. Right now, we've got some heavy rain and gusty winds working their way through northeast Georgia, where we actually do have some stronger thunderstorms, or I should say stronger showers working their way through. I don't see a lot of lightning with this, but the possibility there that we're getting 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So this is continuing to push off to the northeast at about 45 miles per hour, moving through Hartwell here in about the next 10 to 15 minutes, into Burt Stark Mansion at about 9:30, Anderson at about 9:40, and then it moves into Belton closer to about 9:50, 9:55 there. Again, capable of producing 50-mile-per-hour winds. 58 is that magic number to get a severe thunderstorm warning, so we're just barely sub-severe at this point. You got lighter showers as you look out towards Union into Spartanburg, south of Spartanburg, lightens up by the time you get to Cross Anchor, with heavy rain out towards Highlands, now moving through downtown Greenville, Easley into Pickens, and some very heavy rain right now headed through Clemson, so the kids not necessarily wanting to head to class right now. You've got scattered showers though throughout the mountains, still widespread through McDowell, Rutherford, and Polk counties, as well as into Transylvania and Henderson, but starting to break up a little bit more as you look into Asheville. We do have a flood advisory in effect right now for parts of Haywood County. That goes until 10:45 this morning, where we're seeing some minor flooding issues, as well as into the far western parts of Macon County. That one goes until 10 o'clock this morning, so be aware as you're traveling around those areas. What do you want to wear today? Definitely the rain gear. We are going to need that all day long as these showers continue well into this afternoon. It's muggy temperature-wise. We get into those mid to upper 60s, even around 70 degrees. We'll talk more about what's ahead in terms of the timeline and when it'll clear out for you in just a few minutes. But of course, we know the weather impacts your morning with some of these storms that are working their way in. Right now, not seeing a lot of lightning, but the heavy rain and again, the severe thunderstorms. Here's some good news for those folks just outside of our area here down to along that I-20 corridor in Georgia. Those severe thunderstorm warnings, both of those that we've had within the last half hour or so have both been dropped there, but we're still going to be monitoring these lines as they get closer to our area for the potential that they could produce some severe weather with it. Right now across northeast Georgia into Anderson, Abbeville counties up towards Pickens and Oconee, some very heavy rain working its way through, and we're looking at the potential for some 50-mile-per-hour winds with these heavy showers working their way through. Again, no lightning with this at this time, but these are working their way up to the northeast at about 45 miles per hour. Again, 50-mile-per-hour winds possible, which isn't all the way to that 58, which is the number we need to get a severe thunderstorm warning. Moving over Hartwell right about now into Lake Hartwell here in about the next 10 minutes, moving through Anderson at about 9:45, Princeton at about 10 o'clock, and then around to the Gant area at about 10:15. Now further to the east, you've got lighter showers here, but starting to pick up in intensity between Gaffney and Surratt, and then down towards Lawrence into Fountain Inn, 385. You're seeing some lighter but very steady rain out there. Some very heavy rain right now moving through Easley and stretching just to the south of Clemson. That's going to head towards that 85 corridor. So if you're traveling west out of Greenville, be aware that you're getting ready to get hit with some very heavy rain there. Greenville also getting some steady but heavy rain, and that stretches up towards the Spartanburg area. Lightening up in the northern mountains right now, but we're still seeing some pretty steady rain from Rutherford to Polk, Henderson, Transylvania counties, and the southern parts of Haywood County as well. Over the next couple of hours, the mountains are going to become more and more scattered in nature, but steady rain continues across the upstate as we continue through the next several hours, all the way through lunchtime and continuing into about the middle part of the afternoon. That's when we're finally going to start to get more breaks in the action. After about 4 o'clock, it becomes a little more scattered for the upstate. Still keeping an isolated shower chance going, though, for the mountains there all the way through the evening hours before finally, as we get closer to about 9-10 o'clock, this is clearing out of here. And after 11 o'clock, we're pretty much done with this system. We do have that potential, though, that anything that we see across the area today could still become severe. The kind of target area is going to be Union, Lawrence, Abbeville, and Greenwood counties, as well as down towards Newberry. But it can't completely rule out something a little stronger, even a little bit further to the north. We've got a little bit of dynamics to work with, although the cloud cover and the rain this morning is definitely helping us. But we can't completely rule out some damaging straight line winds. That would be the main threat, but an isolated tornado not completely out of the question, and the possibility of some heavy rain. Yesterday, we picked up at about a half an inch to around 1.5 inches of rain. This includes some of what we've gotten this morning, though. And then for the rest of the day, we're looking at those rainfall totals that are dropping because we've already gotten some heavy rain this morning, but 1 to 2 inches still possible along and south of I-85 in the upstate. North of I-85 and into the mountains, about 1/4 to around 1/2 inch of rain. So these are continuing to be widespread, especially across the upstate this morning, lightening up a little bit into the mountains. But check out where we've got some of the heavier rain, which was really moving through the western parts of the upstate now, from Mount Carmel up to due west into Anderson, up around Clemson, Carnesville just here south on I-85, as well as down towards Hartwell. Starting to get some breaks into those far western parts of northeast Georgia there into Franklin and Graham counties. But we do have some heavier showers working their way up to the northeast at about 45 miles per hour, 50-mile-per-hour gusts possible with this around Anderson, into Princeton, into Gant as well. This will be in Anderson here in about the next 10 minutes or so, into Princeton around 10, and then into the Gant area as you get closer to about 10-14. So some of the stronger winds, this is a look at our velocity here. Some of the stronger winds are showing up right about here, is where we're seeing some of those 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts, in fact, across the upstate, which is right in line with what we were thinking here this morning. We kind of telling you all the morning that we were going to get some periods of heavy rain from time to time, and sure enough, we've got one of those moving through right now through much of the upstate, a little bit lighter into the mountains. So we're watching some heavy rain move through Hartwell, just to the south of Carnesville there, lightening up though around Toccoa, but still pretty steady down towards Elberton, heavy out towards due west into Anderson, up to Clemson and Easley, just to the south of Clemson and Easley. That strip of red right there showing up on the radar, that's some pretty heavy rain, as well as that heavy rain moving over I-85 right now in Greenville, stretching up to the north of 85 once you get into Spartanburg County there. We do have a special weather statement here on this particular line as we're tracking some 50-mile-per-hour winds with this particular line here. This is moving to the east at about 55 miles per hour. 58 is that number to get a severe thunderstorm warning. So we're pretty close, but we're not quite all the way to that severe criteria. It's moving through Greenville here in about the next 3 minutes, out towards GSP in about the next 20 minutes, so closer to 10 o'clock. Moves through Fairmont at about 10:15 or 10:10, I should say. Cross Anchor at about 10:40 and into Union closer to about 11 o'clock this morning as it moves its way out to the east. Now, right now across the eastern areas, you're filled in, but you do have some lighter rain, heavier rain north of Spartanburg on 26 and up towards Fingerville. And then it starts to lighten up once you get into those north mountains and west mountains, but still steady rain through Transylvania, Henderson, out to Polk and Rutherford County, and even southern parts of McDowell County. Looks like a lightning strike right there around the Henderson, Transylvania Pennsylvania County border. Over the next couple of hours, the focus is mainly through the upstate, whereas the mountains are going to continue to taper off, but we continue to keep this steady and heavy rain going across much of the upstate. And even for the mountains, even though you're tapering off, you still got some isolated to scattered showers continuing through the afternoon. Once we get to 5 o'clock, then we finally really start to make some progress with this tapering off by about 8 o'clock into the evening across the upstate. A few isolated showers lingering into the mountains, but those die down after about 9 o'clock, and then we dry out into the early part of tomorrow. There continues, though, to be a small threat for damaging straight line winds. So far this morning, no severe thunderstorm warnings, but we've been pretty close. And so that possibility is there that we could see some damaging winds, which could lead to power outages, down trees, as well as some isolated structure damage. Can't completely rule out an isolated tornado either, although the cloud cover and the rain this morning certainly working in our favor to help stabilize the atmosphere, but it's not completely out of the question. And then that heavy rain that we're currently seeing could lead to some minor isolated flooding issues. Today we're looking at upper 60s to around 70 for highs today. We'll see those about lunchtime, mid 60s into the mountains, and then behind this, the bottom falls out. Temperatures drop into the mid 40s across the upstate tonight, into the upper 30s into the mountains, which is a much cooler day for tomorrow. Mid 60s across the upstate and even cooler in the mountains in those mid 50s. But Wednesday morning is the day I want to hone in on, because in the morning hours, we're in the upper 30s to around 40 across the upstate, which could lead to the potential for some frost there and a freeze into the mountains with temperatures below the freezing mark, which
and I do want to say I've actually been to their Asia gardens there. They brought all of those over from Asia, and they even have some really cool temples and things where they still respect all of the culture. If you want to go in, it's like your socks only, no technology. And it's like,
cool.
You don't even have to go to Japan. You can just go to Furman now to get that kind of experience.
That's
so
awesome.
Yeah, hopefully the gardens are getting a lot of needed rain today, probably.
Yes, they definitely, how much rain you're getting out there, but some of you still getting some good heavy downpours out there right now. You can see a lot of our mountainous areas are really starting to taper off pretty nicely, but we still got a good amount of rain moving through the mountain upstate. And right now I want to focus in on this particular line that's moving right now through Spartanburg. Very heavy rain stretching from Spartanburg just to the west of Pauline there, and that is moving out to the east here at about 45 miles per hour. So it's going to move and it's potentially producing some 50-mile-per-hour winds. That's indicated by the radar, so we don't have any ground truth on that necessarily, but we are seeing that potential for that, and that can knock down trees as well as some power lines there. It's moving in the Pacolet area here in about the next 10 minutes into Surratt as you look closer to about 11:30, then out towards Hickory Grove at 11:40, and Sharon as you look about 11:45. So that's now moving out of the Union and Cherokee counties further to the east. But watch for some of those gusty winds with that. We've also got widespread rain through Union, Lawrence, Greenwood counties, as well as out here towards Abbeville County. Some heavy rain as well. It's filled in across northeast Georgia as well, up towards Anderson, into Clemson, Pickens, Walhalla. We're starting to lighten up a little bit into the northern parts of Greenville County, as well as out towards Greenville. You've still got some of those lighter showers, but more rain on the way. And then right now into the mountains, it's about Forest City into Rutherford County with just a few spotty light showers and a couple of other spots right now. But the mountains overall, you're looking at more isolated showers for the rest of the day, while that steady rain continues for a lot of the upstate. We'll talk more about what's ahead in terms of that timeline and how much rain still lies ahead coming up here in just a few minutes. Haley? We still got a lot of rain showing up on the radar for the upstate. Not quite as much going on in the mountains where we're starting to see a drier trend, but you're not completely done with the rain for today. Still more showers possible for you on and off. Some of the heaviest showers, though, right now working their way through Spartanburg County, headed actually into Cherokee and Union counties. And you can see that highlighted right here where we've got some pretty heavy rain and the possibility of some gusty winds, gusting up to as high as 50 miles per hour as this line pushes to the east at about 45. So it's going to be moving into Jonesville here in about the next 10 minutes, into Surratt as you look closer to about 11:30, 11:35. Then it moves out of our area further out towards Sharon and McConnell's once you get past 11:50 and on into the lunch hour there. So that's going to move out of our area, but watch for down trees, the possibility of some down power lines, even with those 40-mile-per-hour gusts. Not going to be the strongest gust out there, but they still could do some minor damage across parts of the area. Plus that heavy rain leading to potting on the roadway. No lightning showing up on the radar right now, so these are just gusty showers right down towards Cross Anchor. Lawrence still getting that steady rain, even down to Greenwood and Kirksey, back towards Lake Secession, Abbeville, and Calhoun Falls. You've got some heavier heavier rain there. Anderson, you're kind of right on the cusp where you're getting some showers out there, but light showers. Hartwell, Elberton, still seeing that widespread rain, and then it lightens up once you get up towards Toccoa into Clemson. Pickens getting to break, and even downtown Greenville right now. We still got some steady rain out towards Forest City with spotty showers out into Lake Lure and the rest of the mountains on the drier side here. We do have a flood advisory in effect for parts of Greenville County. So that includes Greenville, parts of Taylors down to Malden, parts of Greer as well. This is going to go until 1 o'clock this afternoon with 2 to 2.5 inches of rain that have already fallen across these areas and a little bit more on the way. So watch for some of those lower lying areas, especially around our rivers and creeks. Those are running high right now, but you might end up with some water in some of those roadways there. Out towards Bryson City, the Tuckasegee River is also under a flood advisory. That is going to go till 8 o'clock this evening. Now, as we take a look at our radar, our future track, I should say, most of the rain is going to be concentrated along and south of I-85 for the rest of the day. A few scattered showers still possible in the mountains, and some of those creep north of I-85 as well as we head on and off throughout the afternoon as this cold front very slowly works its way out of our area. But this is just very slowly moving, and so we're going to be dealing with this through much of the day today. After about 7-8 o'clock, that's when we really start to see more substantial clearing, and then we clear out after about 10 o'clock this evening. There is a low-end risk that we could see severe weather. We've had some sub-severe storms move their way through the area, or I should say showers, with some of those gusty winds. The most likely area is going to be across the southern parts of our area into places like Union, Lawrence, Abbeville, as well as Greenwood counties, with the main threat being those damaging straight-line winds. Unfortunately, though, can't completely rule out an isolated tornado. Even though that risk is very low, it's not a zero there. Heavy rainfall still, though, a possibility. This is what we've gotten so far out of the system between yesterday and today, with everywhere picking up about 1 to 2.5 inches already. Franklin, I think something's wrong with your sensor out there because you've been running low on the last couple of rain events there. But overall, we're looking at still around 1/4 of an inch to a trace of an inch for the mountains and areas along and north of I-85. But we could still pick up 1/2 inch to around 1 inch of rain for southern parts of the upstate. So still more substantial and much needed rain on the way. We'll talk more about the big temperature changes, though, coming with this cold front coming up in the next half hour. Haley?
And today we are talking about National No Housework Day.
Ooh.
So if you thought you had some stuff on your to-do list, just cross it out because the world says you don't have to do it today. So what is your least favorite chore that you no longer have to do today? Today only. I think cleaning the bathrooms. Yeah, that's fair.
It's a tough one.
That's a tough one.
It always, in my mind, I think it should take like 5 minutes
Yep.
per bathroom, and
Yep.
it does not
It
take
never
5
does.
minutes.
It
No,
never
it's
does.
like way longer. I will admit, I hate the showers the most, so I make my husband
Yeah,
clean those.
yeah.
I was like, I will clean the toilets if you clean the showers, and he's
Yeah.
like, I'll do it. I was
That's a
like,
good one.
okay.
That's very fair.
Yeah. How about you?
Gosh, I don't like hand washing any dish. I like loading the dishwasher. I can do that any time of the day.
Save water that way.
You save water, but like
Same.
I will genuinely not use things that I know I have to hand wash. 'Cause that's how much I hate hand washing them.
Yeah.
Or I have a black lab who sheds everywhere, and like the carpet's fine, but like sometimes I have to get this tool out and like get the hair, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I wonder sometimes how he's not bald because that is how
Right.
much hair I am cleaning up on a
Yeah.
daily basis.
You can make a new dog with some of that hair.
No,
Yeah.
I really could.
Literally.
So I'm gonna go with either one of those. But I also do have like subway tiles in my shower.
Okay.
And yeah, you
The
like think
grout.
they're really beautiful, and then you have to clean them.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So I feel your pain on that one.
Yeah.
All right, well we're about to have a good game of true or false here.
All right.
You're going for the clean sweep.
But
That was fun. All right, true or false? We spend an average of 13,000 hours of our life cleaning.
That's really depressing, but I'm going to go true on this one.
That is true. 13,000 hours. So don't feel guilty about skipping it today.
Okay.
You know what? Because you're going to spend weeks, if not years. I don't know the breakdown of that, but that's a lot of hours.
Am I still allowed to skip it today if I skipped it last week?
Of course.
Okay, good.
Of course. Absolutely. We make the rules. True or false? If we got rid of clutter, housework would be cut by 30%.
I'm going to say false because I hope it's higher.
It is higher.
Okay.
Yes, this was actually done by the National Soap and Detergent Association. Didn't know that was a group, but it is. And they say if you got rid of clutter, it would go up by 40%. Which makes me really want to go through my house and donate a bunch of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Because I would love to cut that's almost half.
Yeah. My trick is like the thing for me is that like if I am in that mood to get rid of stuff, I got to get it out of my house though, because if it sits in the box in the corner,
So true.
eventually I will be like, but I think I need this
I go through it all the
back.
time, all the time. Not only that, it can't stay in the car.
Yeah.
I take it straight to like the donation center.
Right.
Because yes, then I'm not picking through it, and then it's also just gone.
Full day chore.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Do you think you burn up to 300 calories an hour doing housework?
I'm gonna go with false and hope that it's higher.
No, this is true. It's 100 to 300.
Okay.
Obviously, it depends on what you're doing.
Okay.
For those really intense ones, you're gonna have to That's not bad.
300 calories an hour, though, is pretty good.
Yeah. If you're like an Apple Watch girly or guy, start the other workout, and then
There
you
you
get
go.
credit for it.
My Garmin has a cleaning app, or a cleaning one on it.
Chrissy
which
and I have
yeah.
this conversation. Clearly, the Garmin is superior, but it's okay. True or false? Carpet cleaning is the least favorite chore for most Americans.
Ooh, let's go with true on this one.
This is true. This is according to a Better Homes and Gardens survey, and this plus cleaning out your gutters, and window washing also up there. And
yeah.
it's so true. I forget how much I hate cleaning windows,
Yeah.
and how rarely I do it.
It's one of those things you forget about.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're like, I can't see out.
And then you get the Windex and you see it and you're just like, oh, that's black.
Yeah.
Like that's just filth.
That's gross.
And then you feel good that you cleaned it.
There you
So
go.
it works out, but not today.
Not today.
No housework day.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Absolutely. Great.
See there, but we had so many kids that we were able to show our cloud in a bottle to,
Yeah.
our tornado in a bottle. Got to teach them about the highs and the low pressures. So that was
that.
and just like engaging with the kids. Even the adults kind of got a kick out of some of the experiments.
Yeah.
Like when you make that cloud appear in a bottle, everybody's like, whoa.
I mean, I've seen it several times, and I'm always still like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I agree. Obviously, we do like to bring our green screen so that kids can be junior meteorologists.
We do.
Because being a meteorologist is in that kind of STEAM realm. So for you, as a meteorologist, what was it like to kind of get to see kids out and encouraging them to maybe one day you can do this?
Yeah, I love it. I think it's so great to just see the interest in STEAM, whether or not it's weather or whether it's something else. But I did meet quite a few aspiring meteorologists this weekend, so that was definitely fun. I know.
I feel like for all of those kids who are thinking about it, maybe today's a really exciting day for them because the
Yeah.
radar, it's
Oh my
active.
gosh. It is very active.